it.
Hello, everybody. We are back again for another episode of the Book Asylum podcast. I am Jack Childress, hosting currently because she's got the magic computer that I do not have. The one and only Kristen Vincent. Off to the side, the bad wabbit himself, Anthony friggin' Castro. And my partner in crime coming straight to you from Puerto Rico, Angel Ramon. Welcome in, everybody. This week on the show, we have the one and only Chisto Healy, and he's got multiple books out there. This guy's out doing it. He's got conventions lined up like till the end of time. He's busy hustling, trying to get it done, trying to get it out in front of you. Chisto, what is up, my brother?
Exactly what you said. just tons of work.
Well, we'll lead you off with the most obvious question of all time is, when did you start writing?
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
That's the toughest question.
if you want to like really get into like started writing, like I started writing when I was like 8 or 9 years old. Like it was as soon as I got my hands on my first adult book, actually. But
now by adult book, you mean?
No, I mean I was a
go.
child, and it was a book for adults, not like adult book.
Yeah, Jack.
What? It seemed
I was in the gutter.
They didn't make me want to write. They were mostly pictures, and they made me want to do other things. But that's but yeah, like me and my brother had bunk beds, and he was older than me, and he actually, like, he was on a top bunk, and he reached down and took away my children's book and gave me a Dean Koontz book, and he was like, "Read this; it's much better."
Oh yeah.
And then I just fell in love. I was like, I need to do this. I need to, and I started writing. I had notebooks. Everything was written by hand. You know, it was terrible, awful stuff, but you can't expect much from like an 8 or 9 year old. But yeah, that's where the journey began. And then as far as like publishing, I had one book that I wrote by hand in high school that everybody was reading chapter by chapter. It was like Kindle Villa before it happened. I was just passing out handwritten chapters to everybody.
Yeah, that's
Right.
And then after high school, I had a word processor that my brother gave me with a tiny little screen on it, and I typed up an entire like 400-page book on it and printed it out, and each page printed out like a typewriter. Like, it had a digital screen that you would type on, but then it would print out and be like like forever.
Yep.
And
I had one of those.
I printed out the whole thing. And then, you know, I went through a bad period of life, and I was, you know, without pretty much everything. And I had a duffel bag with that one manuscript in it that I carried everywhere. And then I thought that you had to get an agent and all this stuff. So once my life got, you know, situated as an adult, I started typing up all these like 500, 600-page novels and then printing them out and mailing them with a self-addressed stamped envelope to agents to wait half a year to get rejected. Like, went through that whole thing. And it wasn't until, you know, obviously that didn't go well, and, you know, was just sapped up a lot. So it wasn't really until the pandemic where I said, you know, I'm going to actually like focus on this and try to do it. So It was like 2020 when I really, you know, left my job and tried to focus on writing.
Wow. So you actually left the job before you even really had the writing thing going? Because usually when we talk to authors, it's like, I really hope I can get this book or this series to take off so that I can just quit and go write full time. You did it the opposite way.
Yeah, I did. And it's because, well, one is my job. it was literally killing me. Like,
Oh,
and I went through disability for a bit, and was having a lot of health problems, and even the doctors for the company were like, you need to not go back. Like,
damn.
so and then, you know, so I was already there, and then the pandemic job, it, it was literally like,
Okay, where'd the echo?
and then, you know,
Echo.
That was weird. Carry on. That was just weird.
so
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, that was happening, and then the pandemic was happening, and it seemed like the cards just fell into place, you know. It was something I always wanted to do. So, and my brother, he's a successful children's author, and he did go, you know, the traditional route of, like, you know, getting an agent and then one of the big publishers and all that. And he said to me, you gotta start with little stuff to make a name for yourself. So you know, he did it with like nonfiction, with articles for magazines and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I don't write that stuff, and I wouldn't even know where to begin. So I started with short stories, and you know, in the first couple of years of the pandemic, I ended up having like 200 and something published short stories. So
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Cool.
yeah, I was definitely
Wow.
putting the work in. You know, it's not like I mean, if I was going to do it, right, you know, if you're
Yeah.
leaving your job, you're going to do it, you got to put the work in. So
That's right. Mhm.
Yeah, like much like you, I had to leave my job. I got diagnosed with heart failure. They told me I was dying of heart failure. So I'm still on disability. I'm still, you know, fighting that good fight. But it definitely, I can understand what you're talking about. You're sitting at home. I mean, you might as well, you know, put the work in and get it done, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
for
what I've
sure.
been doing with the bad wabbit.
Yeah, I hate to hear that, though. I'm sorry. That's
You know, I've come
terrible.
to terms with it. It's just, you know, part of my existence at this point, but I'm not letting it get me down. I'm putting the work in and getting bad wabbit. It's already, you know, a physical thing,
There you
and
go.
Yep.
it's
Can't
going to
wait.
be,
Can't wait.
yeah, it's going to be out around October. So it's going to be awesome.
So
Well, let's just talk about new. Oh, go ahead, Kristen.
what inspires your writing?
Yeah.
Oh wow. It really depends. So many things, everything really, life in general. I try to like write like ridiculous fanciful fiction, but like put real stuff in it. And because I feel like the real stuff is easier to digest when you add things like giant crabs, you know. So like, so that's you know, there's bits and pieces of real life in everything I write, whether it's mine or a family member or a friend, or, you know, something I saw online or read about or whatever, you know, that just had an effect on me. Yeah, my book Two of a Kind, which is here.
Beautiful.
That one of the one scene in that book that like messes with everybody, and everyone messages me like, I hate you, this is terrible. That scene is the one scene that like made me base that whole book on, like, because it came from something that I saw on the internet, on Facebook actually, that really traumatized me. And so I was like, I need to like get my feelings out about this. So I created a character based around that one thing, and then filled in a story around it, and it all came together. So it's funny because it's like the one scene people like wish wasn't there, but it's actually the scene that like was the seed to blossom the whole story.
So it was like the little bomb. You just waited for it to blow up, and once it popped, everything just came from it. You know, like one big
sure.
bang. Well, now I know it's kind of like kids with authors that have like multiple books out there, but do you have a favorite? Like the one that's just like,
Yeah.
that's my baby right there.
You know,
Uh-huh.
that's hilarious because I just did an interview yesterday with somebody that it's not out yet, so I don't want to like say too much, but one of the questions was like, what's your favorite thing that you've written or whatever, and I that's exactly what I said was that's like asking which child is your favorite child. You can't do that. Like that's
Right.
I mean, you love them all for their own reasons, like they're all special in their own way.
Some are a little more of a pain in the ass than others.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, like the book behind me, my wallpaper there, which is
That's beautiful.
the Gateway in Apartment 8. That book is really special to me. It's the book itself. I don't want to say too much, but
I think give us like a blurb for it.
It-
Give us
well,
the blurb for it.
well, I was going to say the path the book took. It had a hard road in itself, like after it was written.
Oh,
And faced some criticism and hate, and then I found people Slashik, David Jack, and Leroy Cross, who believed in it as much as I did, and then now it's seeing the light of day. So right now that feels really special to me because there was a time when it seemed like the book wasn't going to like get to people. So
wow.
yeah.
Well, I think I know which book I'm ordering. It's already settled. I got to find out why this one had to fight so hard to see the light of day. My curiosity's piqued.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say too much on
Right.
that subject because I don't want to.
Well, this so you don't have to. Feel like
I don't. I want to start in drama.
Yeah, right.
Now, I want to ask something. Which book do you recommend? I haven't read any of your stuff. Which book do you recommend that I start with?
Oh man, it really depends on what you're into. I do all kinds of like everything on the horror spectrum. I've got a couple of zombie books. I've got the serial killers. I've got my cryptids and kaiju and
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
and
Nice.
there's the book behind me it's kind of a ghost story, but also kind of a psychological thriller romance bit of I don't know supernatural
Okay.
so serial killer like
All right, Alan V. Chessman, who's also an author, commented, "Angel, damn, it's just freaking hilarious." So he's got a book, definitely. Oh fuck, a T-Rex.
yes
He said that's one right there. He said that's the one that we need to check out first.
yeah and I just released that book and I really do love it. I love what the book is actually saying.
Now I take it there's comedy in something like that, right?
Not really.
Wow.
Like yeah, I do have books with comedy in them, and I do like to sprinkle it in even in the worst things, like even Two of a Kind, which is by far the most brutal thing I've written. I think the inner monologues of the two serial killers are pretty funny at times. And then I wrote this little book here. Where is it? You can see it.
Oh, that's bloody.
Yeah, it's called "There's a Fistful of Nails Where My Heart Should Be and More Ways to Die."
That's a good title.
The
Holy crap.
the title came from Ruth Anna Evans, who also made the cover. And I, and Christopher Pelton have this thing going called the Trifecta of Terror, and we are just releasing books together. That was the first one. The second one I just released called Dementia and Two Other Stories, and the main story, Dementia, Ruth actually co-wrote that with me.
Ruth is
But-
amazing. She just
but-
created the cover for me and Bobby.
Huh?
Ruth is amazing. She actually just created a cover for Bobby and I.
Oh yeah. No, Ruth is great. She's wonderful. She's just like the sweetest person too.
Yes.
Cristo, a quick question. I have your book on. I see your book on Amazon, the T-Rex one. Do I
Mhm.
have to read the one before it to read that one?
Well, you don't have to. It's not, but if you decide to read that one and you read it after reading the T-Rex, it'll be spoiled because there's some like spoilers to what happens in the first one. They're standalone stories, but in T-Rex, it's
I'm asking because I'm gonna get it. I'll probably get the first one first. I'm gonna get the first one, the Attack of the Killer Crabs.
yeah.
Because I'm into creature horror.
Sounds like my
So-
weekend in Mexico.
Ah,
Well,
y'all blame me for derailing the show.
Yeah. I just got the crabs one. I just bought it. So there
oh,
you
awesome!
go.
Thank you so
So
much.
I'm gonna give it a read
It's
and then next week get the T-Rex one.
yeah. Thanks. I would love that.
Yeah, no problem,
it-
man.
It's I like to do things that people wouldn't expect though. So like a lot of people got Attack of the Killer Crabs expecting
Mhm.
just like a goofy Attack of the Killer Crabs monster B movie feature thing.
I just
and
got
then-
it, so I'm gonna be reading that.
Well, but then it's actually like a pretty deep story.
Okay. All right, cool.
And it's not what people expect. So when they get done with it, they're like, "Oh wow, this was not at all," like. And I did the same thing with Oh Fuck a T-Rex,
Cool.
where it actually, the book really has something to say, and it's not. It's a goofy. The whole thing I'm doing with that whole series is taking goofy concepts and then making like actual moving stories with them. Like that's my
Sweet.
thing.
All right,
See,
I'm
this is
Sweet.
this is what I love about creative people. It's like, I think I've got a good, vivid imagination. I dream in color, all that fun stuff. And then I interview someone like you, and I'm going, "What the hell? I ain't got
Yeah.
none of that." It's like, how did I miss the boat on that imagination train? What the hell?
You know what's
Ridiculous.
funny? What's funny about that, with what you just said, is I actually I don't dream in images at all. I actually can't.
Ready.
I
Oh.
can't. I have aphantasia. I can't.
Oh,
I can't
Oh,
picture
huh.
things. So when I'm writing, I can't visualize it. So it's really all just words and ideas for me. And then trying to create something that someone else can visualize when they read it. So it's kind of tricky.
I'll be back.
now, would that mean? And I mean, it's kind of a semi-serious question, but still trying to be kind of funny at the same time. If Freddy Krueger were real, would that mean you're safe from him?
I hope. But you know what another funny coinky dink there is, he was my first nightmare. Now I couldn't see him, but I felt him chasing me, and it was the first thing that I saw that like really got in so deep that I was terrified and couldn't sleep and was freaking out when I was a kid.
Yeah.
The original Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. So
Wow. So
yeah,
now, what was your first horror movie? Since we brought up that, what was the first one you ever saw?
Ah,
It's really funny because I still give my mom hell about it because it was a movie called Dreamscape,
Oh yeah.
Dreamscape.
which is another like Freddy, another like get in your head kind of movie.
Yeah.
And the villain was this big, like he would turn into like a serpent. He was like a king cobra human hybrid creature. It was terrifying. It was absolutely horrifying. And what happened is my dad had taken us as a family to some other movie that was apparently it was like a war movie or something, had some torture in it. And my mom was like, hell no, my kids are not watching this. So she took us out of that and into Dreamscape to traumatize me for life. So
Damn. Sounds like a trip.
Dude, you were apparently totally predestined for horror.
yeah,
Like it was
absolutely.
just
Basically.
yeah, you weren't getting out of it. You weren't going to
No.
avoid it. You
No.
were stuck, just
Yeah.
So
totally
you
stuck.
might as well embrace it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing too. I don't know if you've noticed, but in the Books of Horror group, Angel has started posting his book reviews, and man, you've been on a tear lately with the reviews you've been putting out. So I guess pretty much be expecting not too long from now.
Yeah,
the
Awesome.
review.
I got one book ahead of yours, by the way. So it's a pretty long one, so it might take a little bit. I'm a slow reader only because I'm a full-time writer. I have my own stories to write,
Right.
Yeah.
and Jack has the evil red pen on my next book. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Gonna look-
I-
you're gonna be
honestly,
looking
like
into
if it wasn't for going to the bathroom, I probably wouldn't be able to read it all. So
Uh-huh.
Stephen Weller, I ain't got my reading glasses on, obviously. He said, I remember Dreamscape as a kid. Crazy.
yeah, yeah, it really was. Like it's what I mean, it's worth like digging up and watching. I think it
Yeah.
had Dennis Quaid in it, like or
It
Randy.
was a
Quaid,
trippy movie,
one
man.
of those Quaids.
Mm-hmm.
Quaalude,
Also,
Quaid,
Alan also said that you write children books as well, and you have a children's stories, and you have a monster told me bedtime stories series.
He
No.
he may be looking at maybe is it a Christo as opposed to Chisto.
He could be looking at Christopher Healy is my brother,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
he
that's just, you might be
he
looking at
does
his brother,
he does all children's stuff. Now my child, my 3-year-old, he wrote a book. I have it, but I don't have it in arm's reach. But it's called The Adventures of Mommy, Book 1. I have to go, but I'll be back soon. And he has already come up with the whole story for Book 2, which is Mommy Can't Save Us Till She Gets Home from Work.
Okay,
And,
wait. How old?
3.
Three.
Dude,
Awesome.
Now
Dude,
he's
it-
not typing it, of course, because he's 3. He dictates it and I type it for him.
That
That's
is
Dude,
good.
at 3, I was
Dude.
trying to figure out how to like poke myself in the forehead with stuff.
Yeah,
like
same here. Same
No,
here.
he's next level, man. He's gonna surpass me by miles. His imagination has like it knows no bounds. It's
I really love hearing about kids doing stuff like that because I have my 8-year-old and he loves to write and loves to make his own books. He'll sit there and make his own books. Right now, he's obsessed with War of the Worlds, and that's his go-to. So, but he will sit there and write books and draw them and do the art, and
Mhm.
it's really fun. So, I'm hoping that he stays on that path, and
Yeah.
hopefully one day he can pick up the mantle and make Bad Wabbit comics with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
it'd be cool. Wait, back to what Anthony just said there. How cool would it be to actually get to co-write a book years from now, obviously, with your kid, man? That'd be sweet.
well, I did have my 18-year-old stepdaughter a few years ago. I think it was like 2020, maybe 2021. She wrote a short story, and her story and my story were both in a horror anthology together. So that
That's
was
cool.
cool.
That is neat. See, I always kind of look at it like with sports, how like, a father goes to like major, well, like the Griffeys, King Griffey Sr. and King Griffey Jr., actually got to play together, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
right.
just,
Mhm.
like
Yes.
LeBron James nowadays, he's hoping that Bronny will eventually get to either play with him or against him at least, so they're in the NBA together. And being someone who doesn't have kids, I don't know what that could even possibly feel like. So, man, hell, I'm rooting, man. I'd
Yeah,
love to see the
it's
day.
amazing. Bo, he there was a day where I was like sick and I was having trouble functioning and staying awake, and he said to me, now I want to tell you a bedtime story. So he sat down and created this whole bedtime story for me, and it was incredible. It was called The Zombie Forest, and I was like, wow. So I posted about it, and then somebody was like, I really want to publish this. So I'm also an artist, so I'm gonna illustrate it, and then we're gonna like release it as an illustrated children's book.
Ooh, that's cool, man.
That's sweet.
Definitely want to keep tabs on that.
Yeah. Also, I feel like it's important while I'm here
Yeah. Mhm.
to mention this book. It keeps it's so hard to. There you go. Got it.
Infection.
Infection Road.
Okay. Okay.
It's a Christy Aldridge, who is another amazing cover artist and author and all around awesome person. Her uncle needed money for a surgery, and people were trying to help out. So I was like, I don't have any money to donate, but I can write a book. And I wrote that book in like 5 days and published it right away to like earn money. And then I was also just giving it away free to people who would donate to her. And when her uncle had enough money, she said, I want to pay it forward and keep the book as a charity. So Christopher Bessinen, I hope I'm saying his name right. He just lost his home.
Oh,
A tree went through his house, and
damn.
and yeah, so and like the Red Cross gave them like $600 or something. Like,
That's
What?
but yeah.
Damn.
So
Slap in the face.
so this book, Infection Road, 100% of the money goes to him and his family. So
That's cool.
anyone who gets that book,
That's good to see people looking out for each other, man.
and
Yeah,
and
it
you know, and the same thing, if you find or donate to his GoFundMe, I'll just send you that book for free, as well as a book, a new novel by Christy Aldridge, a novel by Damon Manx, and an anthology by Psychotoxin Press. So you can get all 4 of those books for free in your inbox if you donate to Chris and his family. So
Well, do be sure if you get the chance. Do it in the comments here, and get it back out on Facebook, and reshare out that GoFundMe so everybody can get to it. To help out. To make it easy, so having to go search for it. Just be there. It is, because I'd be glad to jump in and help.
Awesome.
It's just kind of what I do.
Yeah, we're all trying.
And that's the thing that I love about this indie community is how much, for the most part, you got a little, toxic here and there, but overall, man, everybody does tend to rally around each other when times get bad, and cheer each other on when times are good, and I freaking love that. Yeah. So, that's why I love doing these shows, getting to meet so many of you different creative types, man, because I've noticed there's no interview that's necessarily the same. And yet but there's always a common thread. Everyone's kind of along the same, kind of pulling the same line. We're trying to do the same thing, rising tide, all that fun stuff. And did you have any inspirations, like that people might not expect, that's just kept you encouraged, and kind of been with you in any way that's also in the writing community?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people in the indie community who have really supported me and inspired me. Yeah, for sure. I can probably list names for an hour. But really, my my hero and like one of the people who made me want to write was a British horror author, Simon Clarke. And if you haven't read his stuff, please go read his stuff. Like there's no bad. Like you can pick any one and it's going to be fantastic. If you like vampires, his vampiric trilogy is super good in making vampires scary again.
I love vampires.
But he like I reached out to him at one point back before the pandemic and all of that, and I was like, why isn't this working for me? Like and he actually responded and talked to me and like read my books and gave me like the first page test and like advice and encouragement. And even when one of his publishers was like had an open call, he emailed me and sent it to me, and I was like, man, this is my hero, this is my guy. Like, and he's like just taking me under his wing and he's helping and he cares, like who gets to say that, like I cannot say enough about like what a humble, incredible human he is. Which
That's how I feel about Chris Philbrook. He's done the same for me. So
Chris is great. Yeah, Chris is a great person.
He's been there from the get, helping me with the Spab Wabbit, and I mean, he's inspired me to write. And he's every chance he gets, he like helps me get my stuff out there and all that stuff. So I totally understand what you're talking about. It's very rare to get those people.
I'm in one of his Adrian's Undead Diary anthology books.
Which one? Because I haven't checked out the anthology books yet. I just because he didn't write them, so I'm like, I'll get
well,
to 'em at some point.
he's got a story in one, but gosh, I'd have to find it.
Well, just text me later because I'm gonna have to go get that.
But yeah,
oh man, my bank account is getting drained right now. Hot dog.
I'm in one of those. That's actually how I met him. I submitted to that. But yeah, when this book, it's so hard with this background.
It is. It does that. It's weird.
But Accidental Murderer in Apartment 34, when it got published, it's the first book of my Sunnycrest Apartment series that Gateway in Apartment 8 is this sequel to. Simon Clarke made the blurb for the cover.
Oh, cool.
And having like that moment, like when I got it and I had like a paper book of mine where like the guy who inspired me to be an author like wrote the blurb on the cover. Like, I'm not gonna lie,
that's amazing.
I was like, yeah,
that's freaking amazing.
Yeah,
that is
subtly.
We got a comment by Annan, says, Cristo, you are a writing machine, pumping out a book within 5 days. That's incredible. Please share a little about your editing process.
Yeah,
the part everybody loves the most.
I know. The evil red pen.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I will put it through more than I did with that book because I wanted it to be out there for people to give the money to her uncle. So I was kind of in a rush with that one, but even still I put it through Grammarly, and then after that I put it on Microsoft Word and I do the spelling grammar check there. and then I put it back on Google Docs, and I read it and I do a line edit, line by line. So hopefully there's not too many typos in it. But if there is, forgive me, because it was 5 days. So,
a 5-day thing.
and it's it is, and it's not like a short story. It's a 30,000 word book. So yeah.
But that's the thing. As they always say, you could pretty much go pick up anyone's book, traditionally published, indie published. It doesn't matter. If you really look hard enough,
you'll find 2 or 3
you're
for
gonna
sure.
find
Yeah.
something. I mean, it's in there. There's
Always.
no way to avoid it.
Always.
And
every major book, like the big publisher major books I've ever read, I have found it at least 2, if not more. They're always there.
Now, do you subscribe like I do to the notion of, I guess we'll just call it writer blindness or numbness? Like you edit, you write the book, then you go back and you make your first pass through edits, and you find all kinds of stuff. Then you go into that second one, and by then it's like you've already read these words at least twice because you wrote them. Now you've edited them, and all of a sudden it's just like you're not going to see a mistake even if it's right in front of your face. Because
it does. It's hard because a lot of times when you know what it's supposed to say, you just read it that way, and read right through mistakes. I find it's a lot easier to catch them when it is like already formatted, like you're reading like you would an ebook, and it's not like a Microsoft Word document like that. You can catch the typos and then go back and then do the whole freaking process over again. But yeah.
I'm
Well, we
looking
got a
at
comment.
my wife. She points out all my mistakes as I'm writing.
What it is funny as hell that you say that there, Mr. Anthony Wabbit. Stephen Weller says, my wife points out errors in James Patterson's books, so I will feel better.
I got my own feelings about James Patterson.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, me too.
Yep.
I'm not going to get into that.
So yeah, not his fault those errors are in there. It's Milli Vanilli's fault over here.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Chisto, I wanted to ask you: do you have any of your books on Audible?
Yes. Actually, the first Sunnycrest book, "Accidental Murder in Apartment 34," is on there, and then the book that you want to talk about, horror comedies. Mark Taus and I wrote a book called The Bucket List, which is it's gruesome and funny at the same time, which makes you feel bad. But it's like I shouldn't be laughing, but I am. But yeah, that book we got like the most incredible person to do the audio on it, and she did like the different voices for the characters and added sound effects, and yeah, it's really good. I almost think like it's now that version is out there, that's how it should be taken. It's like she kind of owns it. Like,
okay, that's gonna be my next Audible credit right there, because I love horror comedy.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Mark Tufo fan, Chris Philbrook, and they work the comedy in so well while still bringing the drama along with it. But going back on the editing thing, Alan Chessman says, I asked because my co-author, Anat Ilaraz, and I are deep into the editing and revision process for the first book in our sci-fi series. I'm convinced that if you look up the definition of evil in a dictionary, you'll see the word editing.
Yes.
It's definitely tedious.
I fully agree.
It's definitely tedious, but also necessary. So
yes,
very necessary.
It's very evil.
It's very, very necessary.
Honestly, with one of one of the first books I self-published a while back. It was I still love the book. I love the story. I love the characters, but it was a train wreck. Like in editing wise, it was a mess. It was just god awful. And to make it worse is I had written the book in present tense, and then one of the agents I sent it to, who loved the book but didn't want it, which always weirded me out. She was like, oh, I love this book. I read it in one sitting, but I don't think I'm the right person to sell it. I don't know. But anyway, so she was like, yeah, present tense doesn't really work. You got to write it in past tense. So I went back. Now you're talking, this novel was almost 600 pages. I went back and tried to change the entire thing into past tense. So I missed a lot, so like the tenses end up changing
Yeah.
the whole thing. And then I only got like 2 reviews on the book, but they were both like, wow, this needs an editor.
Uh,
So let me
did-
ask you this along that line. Have you been writing knowing, okay, I'm writing in past tense, and yet
Mhm.
at some point along the way, you'll go present tense and then go right back to past tense live as you write it?
I don't do that. If I try to write in present tense, my brain will automatically go to past tense now because I do
you're
past
better,
tense
you're
all the
better than
time.
me. You're better than even I am. Sometimes I shift tenses by accident when I'm writing.
I
Yeah,
don't
and
know
as
when I'm
a-
talking, so it's like.
Yeah.
But I did just pull that book, and I did an entire reworking of it, and got a brand new cover from Ruth Anna, and it's going to be re-released on its 10-year anniversary in the beginning of 2024. So
Eat.
Oh,
Sweet.
cool.
yeah, Armageddon: Fall of the Vampires. So
Sweet.
Look
it's
at that.
Love it. Well,
Actually,
now oh, go ahead, Kristen.
I have the one that you and I talked about, the accidental murders in apartment 34
mhm.
this coming up week. So
You have what?
the
You're
other
reading it?
no, it's going to be here.
Oh,
Yeah, because I'm currently reading your new one right now.
yeah, the sequel to it.
Yeah, I love it.
You're
So,
doing it ass backwards.
yeah,
It-
I am.
It's okay actually with those books, because it almost might be fun to go back and read the first one afterwards, because there's like revelations and things with the side characters and the everything in book 2. So like when you're reading book 1, you might be like, oh wow, and this is that person, and now oh my gosh, and they do that in the next book. So that's and I think either way it would work out fun, because the whole thing with that series is the apartment building itself is like a character, and then all the people that live in the apartments and work in the apartments and everything are characters throughout the whole series. So it's kind of like creating a universe within a building.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm on page, I think 32 or something like that in the second book. And yeah, everything is just, oh my gosh.
You haven't even gotten to the craziness yet.
Oh,
Ooh.
No, she's in her apartment right now and she found something. So
no spoilers.
It's just beginning.
So Kista, would you say building a universe within a building is harder than building a universe within a world?
Ooh,
I don't know.
Because you have to keep it confined, right?
Yeah, it's and it's kind of, it's really not much different, because you've got, all the different floors, and then all the different apartments on each floor, and then you've got like the groundskeeper, and then the maintenance guy, and then the landlord, and then her son, and there's a lot, and then all the people who've lived there before, and the people who passed, and the people who are still coming to visit, and The ghosts that roam the hallways. So you know, it's really not much different, because if you're doing like cities or forts or spaceships or apartments, you know, it's all it's all just
Well, I just asked because I'm having to actually create a universe, as far as like a universe,
A universe, a whole one.
a whole like creatures and with stuff
yeah,
within
yeah.
that universe.
No,
and
I
stuff,
write
so-
fantasy too, so I get it.
so-
I had a fantasy book that was unpublished from the publisher, and is going to be re-released next year from a different publisher, which is the start of a series, and definitely created a whole world for that. And when it comes back out, it'll have a map with it and
Oh, cool.
everything. And then I have like 2 or 3 other fantasy series that I'm co-writing with Shelley Jarvis. And each one, like there's like 3 different series, and they each have their own world. They're not like connected. So
Oh, cool.
we've done a lot of like world developing and politics and every magic systems and all of it. It's a lot of fun. I love doing that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, here's something I can dig into though on the favorites idea. Of all your books, which one would you love to see turned into a graphic novel? Like full, comic book layout.
You know, it's funny because when I originally wrote Armageddon Fall of the Vampires, it was intended to be a graphic novel, and then somebody said, write it as a book. So when I got when Ruth Anna when I got her to make a new cover for it for the re-release, she was like, this looks like very comic booky though, like kind of a graphic novel cover. Do you want me to do something else? And I was like, no, that's exactly what I want. So like, yeah, if there was going to be one, that would probably be the one, but I'd be happy to have any of them. Yeah, if anyone ever wants to do a graphic novel, I'll happily write one, or even do some pinup art for it, or
I'll keep that in mind.
yeah, for sure. I actually had a really good idea. I've been talking to another buddy of mine who is a fantastic writer, Matt Gleason. They write this stuff. You want to talk about like imagination?
Yeah.
Their stuff is so out of left field that I don't even know how they come up with it. It blows my mind every time I read anything they write. But we were just talking about actually like trying to do a graphic novel together, like literally yesterday or the day before or something. So,
Cool.
and I
Well,
do
I'm
have
gonna-
a really cool idea, so I'm excited.
I'm double thumbs up on that. Go for it. Because like I said, watching Anthony's journey as he's put the Bad Wabbit together, and granted, I wasn't around for the entire journey, but I've been around for this final salvo leading to the finished product. I'm all about the idea of seeing like Zombie Fallout, Adrian's Undead Diary, Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, your stuff, just to see it in comic book form, put together that way, man, just totally intrigues me.
Yeah, that's definitely where I started. Me and my brother and my best friend Jesse as kids, we had JTC Omics, where we made our own comic books just on paper, but we created a whole universe and relationships and good guys and bad guys and everything, and had all these different comics and issues and everything. I probably still have some of them, but half the art was terrible because we were kids. But and then in later years we did it again with more people. My buddy Mike Lowe, who is now doing like special effects and costumes and stuff, and made a TIE fighter for one of the new Star Wars movies. So
oh wow,
Dang.
yeah, he's super cool.
that's really neat.
But yeah, so we used to make comics together in high school and stuff too. And then I had a job actually when I lived in Washington, writing and drawing my own anime comic, and they were sending it to Japan to get like inked and
Ooh.
colored and stuff, so that like it made it feel more authentic and like that was really exciting to me. But I was working 7 days a week at my regular job, and I just couldn't meet deadline. I just couldn't do it. I was trying and trying and trying. So I lost my job on that, which was kind of heartbreaking because it was something I wanted to do my whole life. But
So,
yeah, so before writing, I was definitely into, you know, the whole comic book scene for sure.
All right, so who's your favorite character, comic book wise?
Oh golly.
That's a hard one to ask.
I know.
I
the
mean,
same
like,
thing.
Jack is the king of hard questions.
Yeah, right. I mean, I can totally tell you mine because I made him. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, but I mean, what if he was asking about one you didn't create? Like,
All right, I'll do this. You can have
Punisher.
a 1 and a 1A, because I have a 1 and a 1A, because forever and ever during my teenage years, it was Wolverine. Because I was always the little guy, you know, but with a feisty attitude. But then I discovered Deadpool, you know, a few years down the road, and went, I'm kind of like that guy too. You know, I like that freaking guy. And then Ryan Reynolds made a movie, and I went, okay, new number 1. And it's like, no, not really. 1 and 1A. So you can get 2. You can go 2 for your favorite.
mean, it's so cool that you know.
here you go, Jack.
Oh yeah,
Deadpool,
there you go. Awesome. It's so cool to me that
Wolverine.
Ryan Reynolds got Hugh Jackman to come back as Wolverine and gave him the actual Wolverine costume for
The real
once.
costume.
Yes.
Yes.
So
I'm so
freaking
stoked
cool.
for that. I'm like,
I know.
And what's that? Bob's Burgers. The creators and writers for that are the ones that did the script for this next movie. So I have no idea what's about to come out of this. This is going to be insane.
I love Bob's Burgers. I would definitely
mean,
that idea.
From what I've gathered on my comic book adventure and kind of digging into all the comic book lore and stuff that were surrounding the Deadpool movie, supposedly it's going to have a lot of cameos from all the different Marvel universes, even Sony. You know, we're going to see characters that are no longer around. They're going to come back as themselves. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm kind of a little obsessed with Ryan Reynolds. So
I am too. He is so hot, and I'm not even like, you know, of that persuasion. I just, man, look at the guy. He's my man crush.
I am really female, and I will agree.
So now we still haven't totally gotten to the brass roots. So Deadpool is definitely one of your favorites, yes?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny because back in the day, like comic book back in the day, like I really did not like the stuff that Rob Liefeld did. And then like I liked the evolution of the character of Deadpool over time. When he really started getting more crazy.
Yeah.
And they brought in all the voices and everything.
Yeah.
That's when Deadpool got cool for me.
Yeah, he definitely got a new level of interest. So
Definitely. Well, 2 of the comics I've got currently, they're in a drawer hidden away nice and safe until I can finally decide that it's time to get the frames for them to hang them up, are Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe and Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe again.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've got those, and those are fantastic.
Yeah,
I assume they're good, are they not? They are freaking amazing.
Yeah, I think that's what this new movie is going to be based on. I think it's going to be one of those.
Now, what I would like to see, and I'll see if y'all agree with me or not, it's the one where Deadpool is stuck in the zombie apocalypse, but if a zombie bites him, they become another
the graphic
Deadpool.
Novel.
Yes.
Yeah, I have that too. It's so
that,
cool.
That is something I want to see made into a movie, because that would be absolutely laugh out loud hysterical.
Did you play the Deadpool game? It was so perfect for the character and everything. And
he
and
talks shit the whole time.
the whole time. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. I never like had so much like just so much fun just laughing and like play as when I played through that game.
Oh, it's a great game. Well, guys, believe it or not, we're coming up on the end of the hour. Time to wrap this thing up. Well, you know how we do it around here, boys and girls. So this week we're gonna start off ladies first. Kristen Vincent, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Amazon. I write under K Vincent, and I have 2 books out called Within Your Thoughts, and they're dark poetry. You can also find me on Facebook under Kristen Vincent Author. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. And I also have a website as well. So I can put the link in comments for that.
Drop those in there. And you are also working on a secret special double sauce project. So don't want everybody, just keep an eye out, ladies and gentlemen. Kristen Benson got a lot more going on than just poetry. This woman got it up here strong in the force.
Shots fired.
Now, Mr. Angel Ramon, I believe
Yes,
there
sir.
might be some rats and centipedes sneaking around your apartment. I hope you got them all killed off before you got on the show today. What is up, man? Where can everybody find you?
Spray. Yep, I got the bug spray. Oh, so obviously Jack Childress is currently reading and editing or putting the web pens for Pina Canadas and Rats 2, which is the second book of my creature horror series. Book 1 is already out, so you can get that on Amazon. Just look up Angel Ramon on Amazon. And book 2 is on pre-order for 99 cents. And I gotta tell you, book 2 is doing really good on pre-orders right now. So
yes, it is. Where are we at right now? How many you got so far?
69. One more to
we gotta
70.
get you to 70, man. Come on.
Yeah, we'll get to 70. But that's actually the most I've had for a book 2 ever. So yep,
nice.
So I've made the right decision going back to horror. So enough wagging. You can also find me here on the Book Asylum podcast with these fine, wonderful gentlemen and ladies. And you can also find me on the Assignment of Fear and the Written Undead Facebook groups.
Right on. And let's not forget about the Legionnaires of Angelus Maximus.
We just did a podcast today.
And
we already
RPG.
up to we did 35 shows already. I counted.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All righty. Moving along. All right, Wabbit. What the hell you doing out there on your space shuttle hanging out with your toxic pig and stuff?
Oh man. So we just recently in the last week or two had a successful Kickstarter finish. So Bad Wabbit is officially being published. It is going to be printed. It's going to be on shelves. In October, Chris Philbrook himself is going to come stay with me for about a week or so. And we're going to be doing back-to-back signings here in Austin, Texas. And that's going to be really fun. If anybody wants to find me, they can go to dmwcomics.com. I have all of my social media stuff on there. And I am just restructuring my merch store. So I'm doing it through a new company, and I don't have very much stuff in the store itself, but there's going to be a lot of stuff to come. So I'm kind of transferring everything from my previous store to my new store. So just, be patient. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, keep an eye out around October. I'm going to be hitting up every comic book store that I could possibly call and shipping out comic books to everybody I could possibly get one in their hands. So definitely check that out, man.
That's freaking awesome. I'll tell you what, I'm definitely looking forward to getting my hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to get my Bad Wabbit hoodie. All right, everybody, the guest with the best going on this week, our awesome guy that stepped in at the last minute almost to save the day, to come in and keep everybody entertained. Chisto Healy, where can everybody find you, man?
Pretty much everywhere. I'm on
That's what I like to
everything
hear.
and just under my name. I mean, I don't ever check my Twitter, but now I'm on Threads, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I have a website which somebody graciously worked very hard to make, and I do not update it because I'm really bad at that stuff and I don't deserve their help. But it is just ChistoHealy.com. So everywhere you look, if you just put in my name, you'll find me. I'm on
Well,
everything.
Well, real quick before I actually officially close this out, is that not a cool feeling? Because like literally you can go onto Amazon and type in my first and last name and it will take you to a magazine that I have a short story in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's cool
just-
as heck.
That's just such a cool feeling. Oh, real quick, want to give a shout out to David Lingard and to Nick Plummeridge. They hooked me up with awesome,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
awesome book mail. Okay, granted, the one at the back don't count, but got some David Lingard action going on. I got Lost in the Code, which is I'm doing this horribly. The new book that Nick
Yep.
Plummeridge just
Mhm.
put out, which I am a
Yeah.
character in. And this guy actually hooked me up, if I can get it to reflect right,
Yes.
Oh, that's
yeah.
with
that's
a
badass.
kick-ass Zippo that he sent me. And so go check out their
bro.
stuff.
You're in so many damn books. I can't even imagine anybody else who's in so many damn books. Like,
I'm
you get a
it's got to be a
Cali or
Guinness Book of World
something.
Records. There's got to be
Yeah.
a record there
There's
somewhere.
got
I
to be a
don't,
record.
I don't know. In fact, probably after we get off the show, I'm going after Chisto next. Like, all right, dude, come on, just get me in there. Say, hey, there's Jack Childress. Bam, someone shot him in the head.
I
Yeah,
did in Attack of the Killer Crabs, I did kill Donna Latham. She asked me for it, so she got it.
Well, you got your wish.
And
I'm
yeah,
gonna try that.
there are more indie people to be killed in my books in the future. So
awesome.
anyone who asks, I'll do it. I don't, if you want
Consider
in.
it asked. Consider it
Okay.
asked.
Yeah, right.
Kill me,
Consider it
kill me, kill me. And
Okay.
definitely kill Angel. He's the only person I know that's ever been killed like 6 times in one series because he's cloned and they just keep killing off his
Yep.
clones.
Do not
So
come back.
I love it.
So it's just insane. All right, everybody, it's the end of the damn show already. Let's get the hell out of here. For Kristen Vincent, Anthony Bad Wabbit Castro, Angel Ramon, Chisto Healy, I am Jack Childress. This is the Book Asylum podcast. We will see you next week. Kristen, take us home. Got to kill the live too.